With the release of Lisabi, I'm now totally convinced about the revolution happening in the Yoruba movie industry. It's a new dawn. There is a reawakening. Our actors, actresses, producers, directors, and all the major players in the Yoruba movie industry have rediscovered the magic they had in the 1990s and early 2000s when they produced epic movies like Ogbori Elemoso, Bashorunga, Afonja, Efun Shetaniwura, and others like that. From King of Thieves to Anikulapo, Jagun Jagun to Ajakaju, Ayinla to Funmi Layo Ransom Kuti, House of God to Lisabi. These movies are deeply rooted in our beautiful culture, and the execution has been second to none. All those involved have demonstrated creative excellence at its peak. Lisabi is another masterpiece that will dominate the visual space for a while, emphasizing that Yoruba culture is bigger than Africa. Despite being a beautifully told story about the Egba resistance against tyranny and their defiance of a world power, the film didn't downplay the influence of the old Oyo Empire, with its seats of power in Oyo-Ile and the Alaafin, an unquestionable entity bearing the cognomen of Iku Baba Yeye. The trio phrase Iku Baba Yeye translates as the death, the patana, the matana. It might not resonate with us in this modern democratic era, but in ancient Yoruba days, it held immense significance. I will delve into how the Alaafin earned that title in another video. First, the grandeur displayed in the movie's setting is highly commendable. The use of artifacts, costumes, and folk songs was deliberate and intentional, effectively representing both the Egbas and the Oyos. The film also excellently depicted the politics at play in Yoruba courts at that time. It vividly showed that power is taken, not given, a recurring theme in Yoruba history. Sangodeyi did not wait around to become Olori Lari. He seized his moment when the Oluolodan challenged the past of Oloyo. The movie did a great job showcasing how traditional weddings were conducted in Yoruba land. This aspect is gradually fading due to civilization, and films should not only entertain but educate. Similarly, the concept of Aro was well portrayed. Our ancestors organized themselves into a mutual aid society called Egbe Aro for more efficient farming, a tradition that reflects the collective strength and unity of the Yoruba people. However, despite the film's strong points, I have a few concerns about certain portrayals. Historical movies should aim to avoid confusing or complicating our history as a people. A fellow Yoruba culture enthusiast pointed out how movies about the Roman Empire often serve as a way of learning Roman history. We are fortunate to have this revelation that translates Yoruba histories into films, but we must get it right to avoid misinforming the world about our identity. I was impressed that the filmmakers researched enough to know that the old Oyo Empire had extensive trade relations with Portugal. In 1471, it was officially recorded that Portugal contacted the Alaafin and they maintained a cordial relationship for centuries. In fact, a great historian, Oloye Laji Abbas, the Ààrẹ Òpìtàn of Ibadan and one of the foremost historians in Yoruba land, insists that a Portuguese knew Alaafin Sango personally and wrote about his encounter with a powerful, posthumously deified emperor. Please note that Alaafin Sango Telaogo and Orisha and third Alaafin of Oyo is totally different from Sango Ayilegbe Orun Irunmole. That's the story for another video. Historically, it's true that the old Oyo Empire had strong ties with Portugal long before the Great Britain arrived, as shown in the movie. However, my issue is that the Portuguese characters were communicating in English rather than Portuguese, the official language of Portugal. Portuguese. Also, Lisabi was a giant, both in stature and in spirit. The movie didn't focus on an important aspect, which is that although Lisabi lived in Igbe, his roots are traced back to the Egba village of Itoku. This connection to Itoku adds another layer to his character and heritage, one that could have enriched the film's narrative even further. I don't mind that the movie featured many popular, talented, and experienced actors. My concern is with the use of language, which didn't match the caliber of the cast. For example, Baba Peter Fatomilola only appeared in one scene, and there was a disappointing lack of Yoruba proverbs or any deep use of the Yoruba language. It was too plain for a historical movie. While they made an effort to speak basic Yoruba in the Oyo scenes, though it could have been better, the Egba scenes were inconsistent. Some characters didn't even speak Egba at all. Another cultural misstep was in the portrayal of Oloyo, who shot some slaves dead. In Yoruba culture, it's forbidden for a king to look upon a dead, yet the scene was cast as though there was nothing wrong with it. Adebowale Adedayo, Mr. Macaroni, gave an exceptional performance and spoke the Egba dialect very well. However, his line, "Tí a bá ní kí a mú ni, ọ̀la ni a máa mú," didn't sound like something from 1775. It felt more like a Gen Z Lagosian reciting a Yoruba proverb. The director should have adjusted this part to suit the historical setting. Additionally, Lisabi's brilliance as a strategist went beyond mysticism. His tactical planning and the formation of the Egbearo allowed the Egbas to prepare for the Oyo invasion, ultimately freeing themselves from oppression. According to history, Lisabi instructed his fellow farmers involved in his Egbearo to return to their settlements and kill the Ilaris stationed there. This demonstrated his profound understanding of strategy and bravery. It was a brilliant display of military cunningness, far more compelling than the movie's overemphasis on his partnership with spiritual beings as the source of his power. I believe the storyline would have been more captivating had it highlighted this strategic brilliance rather than leaning so heavily on mysticism. Before Christianity and Islam, both Egbas and Oyos were rich with military strategy and structured offices for warfare, not just mysticism. Africa is often misrepresented as uncivilized, but our history proves otherwise. Films like Lisabi should showcase the sophistication of Yoruba warfare alongside its spiritual elements, not just to highlight the spiritual element. Lastly, I must give credit to Akeem Ifet. His consistency in these revolutionary movies is noteworthy and it deserves his flowers. While we eagerly await the sequel to be released in January 2025, I'm rating Lisabi an 8/10. Thank you.